We might evolve to blink sideways to better protect our eyes from cosmic debris coming from all directions, since most likely…
Reapers, what is good? It's your boy Laser. We're back with another reaction video. You guys already know the vibes. Guys, in this video, we're going to be reacting to 10 ways our bodies will be different in 100 years. Yes, guys, I'm going to start doing variety reaction videos. I'm also going to be doing gaming videos in the future. But if you guys enjoy my content and you guys want more of these videos, you hit that like button, you subscribe, and you turn notifications on. It's that simple. Let's get straight into this video.
Now, on average, Earth's water rises by 14/100ths of an inch each year, and sometimes I feel like, getting some floaties. So, we can't help but wonder,
what was that green screen effect? That was so weird.
What if we end up living underwater? We now have evidence that humans could adapt to that. The Baiju, a group of people living in Southeast Asia, have evolved to have enlarged spleens, and the spleen is the organ that stores oxygen-rich red blood cells. When these cells are released into the bloodstream, they enable divers to hold their breath underwater for longer periods of time. This allows the Baiju people to free dive to depths up to 230 feet.
I can't even hold my breath underwater for like more than 10 seconds, guys.
To live underwater, our bodies would have to get bigger so that we could limit heat loss. The bigger the animals, the more heat it produces. We'd also need to grow webbed fingers and toes to navigate the deep sea. Eventually, we wouldn't need to have two legs, and they'd fuse together. Our eyes might also get bigger for better vision. Come to think of it, we'd end up looking like mer people. Scientists have even looked into the possibility of people being able to fly. Flying creatures have the right body size and the right metabolism for that. We need to have the ability to use fuel, like the food and water we consume, to produce enough energy to lift ourselves off the ground. Birds, for example, have a very high metabolism. All processes in their bodies go much faster. A hummingbird's heart can beat up to 1,200 times per minute. A human athlete's heart can only go as fast as 220 beats per minute.
That's crazy.
So, the flight seems almost impossible. There's no selective pressure on our species to grow wings and learn to fly. Plus, to do it, we need to be smaller, have less dense bones, and lose most of our muscle mass. We'd also have to give up on our teeth to become light enough. I ain't giving up my teeth. If our arms became wings, we wouldn't be able to do the things we needed our hands for.
If I had wings, I am flying across the country, and I'm just gonna have the time of my life.
We'd just become clumsier visions of ourselves. I don't have that far to go. And to grow separate wings, our skeleton and muscle structure would need to radically change over millions of years. The concept of humans living on other planets of our solar system doesn't seem very far-fetched. Depending on what planet we'll end up colonizing, our features will become a lot different too. Our eyes will get larger if we reach planets at a bigger distance from the Sun than Earth. Because if there's less light, we'll need bigger eyes to see better.
Dude, if we have goddamn alien eyes in the future, oh my god. What is society gonna come?
Our skin might also become more pigmented to help with harmful UV radiation outside of Earth's protective ozone layer. We might even get thicker eyelids and more pronounced brow bones to deal with the effects of cosmic rays.
My eyebrows are
Weirdly enough, if that wasn't weird enough, we might evolve to blink sideways to better protect our eyes from cosmic debris coming from all directions, since most likely, gravity on other planets will be weaker than on Earth. Living on other planets might also mean bigger nostrils. We'll need those to breathe more easily since oxygen may be scarce in new worlds. We might get thicker and denser hair to protect our heads from potential radiation. On Mars…
Imagine how much haircuts are going to be in the future. We're talking like… oh my god. I didn't even take that into account.
For example, there's on average 40 to 50 times more radiation than on Earth. We will still be able to use a lot of technology, but instead of smartwatches and glasses, we'll have smaller and more subtle gadgets.
So like Apple Watches.
Things like communication contact lenses might appear quite soon. Instead of headphones, we might use miniature bone conduction devices implanted above the ear. Scientists don't know for sure what people will look like 1,000 years from now, but they can predict it based on previous patterns of evolution. In the Middle Ages, people had an average life expectancy of 35 years. That means they had to work really hard and produce offspring very early in their lives. These days, life expectancy has more than doubled. More and more people live to be 100 or even 110 years old. We can easily assume we'll end up living longer than that.
See, I don't want to live that long, guys. I'd rather just live to like 70 to 80 at most. I don't want to live past 80. Like, I'm just going to be honest.
Now, how about our size? All animals have evolved to grow larger over time. We've seen it in dinosaurs, whales, horses, and in people too. Our ancestors from 4 million years ago were small, barely reaching 4 to 5 feet tall. Most likely, we continue to gain height mostly because we have better nutrition, but also because our genes seem to be evolving too, as people who are above average in height tend to have more adventurous or useful genes based on some studies. But as we grow taller, we've also become more fragile. Over the past 2 million years, our
Could be me, guys. I'm only 5'8".
skeletons have become lighter. We've started to use more tools for our day-to-day activities. People have also become less active ever since farming was invented, so our bones are now less dense. And because these days we spend a lot of time at our desks, our bone structure might change altogether and alter our postures.
Bro, no thanks.
Yet, the taller body trend can't go on forever. Size cannot increase beyond a certain limit. That's because the pressure on the tissues of very large bodies is different from the pressure on bodies of medium size. If our bodies continue to grow larger, our shape will need to change too. We're also likely to see dramatic changes in our minds and
The amount of health problems I can already imagine, dude, like going to the doctor's office in like 1,000 plus years is going to be like so many different problems at once. Doc, I have problems with my brain. I have problems with my arms. I have problems with every part of my body because this is society in fucking 25, I don't even know.
personalities. The past 6 million years have roughly tripled our brain size. You might think this trend will continue, but it probably
bigger
won't.
brains doesn't mean
Surprisingly,
you get smarter.
our brains are getting smaller. Research shows that the size of the human brain peaked about 20,000 years ago, just
So that's why we all are so dumb nowadays, it seems. I'm not alone.
before the invention of farming. Then the brain started to decrease, and we're not really sure why. One explanation is that fat and proteins were hard to find once people started farming and eating more vegetables. It made it more difficult to grow and maintain large brains. Our brains also need a lot of energy. They take up around 20% of our daily energy use. Our personalities are continuing to evolve too. We don't need to be as aggressive as ancient hunters and gatherers. Our social interactions are also different. Back in the day, people couldn't travel far or communicate over long distances efficiently. So the close relationships they had were members of their own local group or tribe. Now we can travel all over the world, speak on the phone, chat on our laptops, switch jobs as often as we need to, and even date people online.
Dating online is a joke, guys, and I'm not saying this from experience. I am just saying this because literally anything can be faked online, and like a person online can be a completely different person in person, if that makes sense. Like, you can't judge someone or something online because at the end of the day, it's only showing you like parts of their life or like parts of something that they want you to see and what they don't want you to see, if that makes sense.
It pushed us to be more outgoing, open, and
Social
tolerant.
media is just an illusion.
It also
I'm
made
telling
us more adaptable to different cultures from around the world. There used to be 9 human species roaming Earth about 300,000 years ago. The other 8 species probably went extinct due to climate changes. It may just be us for now, but who's to say there won't be a new human species? But since we're not separated by
Babe, wake up. A new human species DLC just dropped.
physical distance anymore, that's unlikely. To have different species, people need to evolve in isolated groups. Genetics call the phenomenon occurring now the grand averaging. We're becoming more and more alike as generations go by. The world population is mixed. People no longer reproduce just within their location. If enough time goes by, the human race will start to look homogeneous. We'll all become the average of different physical appearances we see today.
Bro, what?
We used to have bigger jaws so that we could better chew on processed food. These days, we have smaller jaws and less room for all 32 teeth.
Isn't that a good thing?
That's why we often have those pesky wisdom teeth removed.
Oh, fun fact, guys. I still haven't gotten my wisdom teeth removed, and I'm like almost 20 years old. But here's the thing. It's weird, dude. Wisdom teeth have not really affected me. Like, it affects most people, like, in a bad way, but it hasn't really affected me yet. I don't know.
Scientists say the number of teeth we have won't change. But if we continue to change our eating habits, switching to even softer food, our jaws will become smaller and our teeth even more crowded. So, I say, let's break out the peanut brittle. Are our thumbs becoming larger? Some data suggests some teenagers have overdeveloped thumbs. That's because they play too many video games.
Shoot.
Their thumb muscles
Why are they
have
calling me out
adapted
like that?
because they've been used a lot. But this is not a genetic trait. One person may have a larger thumb, but they won't pass it on to future generations. You know, someday well into the future, we might be all thumbs. Hey, I'm there already. That's it for today.
Ooh, well, guys, that is it for this video. I think it's crazy to think that we are literally going to blink sideways. Like, I can't even do that right now. Like, I can't do that. Like, that's just going to be so weird. I can't imagine what society is going to look like 1,000 years from now. Because consider, guys, life is changing so fast, like right now. It's actually crazy to think about. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, you guys already know what to do. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!